Hey guys, welcome back by request the 2000 tutorial. So I'm not a star at this move, but just like a lot of other moves actually, I just do it in a combo. So from combos I'm a lot better than from standing, but let me explain how it works. So 90, 90 and 2000 and actually also the invert 90, these moves are not that hard. But at the same time, they are the most difficult moves that there are. What does that mean? Well, it's very simple, guys. If I want to spin 1 or 2 rounds of 2000, actually not that hard. With some practice, well, 1 round is easy, but 2, 3 rounds is possible quite well with practice, obviously. That's not that hard, but then consistently doing over 5 rounds, let alone 10 rounds, really, really hard, right? So, but if you just want to do 2, 3 rounds, it's actually not that hard. You can just practice on it as you go. So for this one, I prefer you to train actually also your 90. 90 is a lot more usable than 2000, and a lot more combos are actually possible with the 90 than with the 2000. But you can practice both, of course, and I always like 2000 more. I just felt more stable, but it's also a move I practiced more in combos, right? So let me explain this move. The best way is actually to totally align before you enter it, but you don't have to start that way as a beginner. So I did the 90-90 for beginners tutorial where I explained if you go in your handstand with your hand to the side like this and do a spinning handstand, aka star walk, all the way around, what will happen is you will automatically make a round of 90. I mean the handstand like this and you spin all the way around, even though my hand doesn't want to spin because this is a shit floor. And I don't have calluses here because I don't train enough 90s. Then I won't spin so much, but you see, I automatically make that round. Now the 2000, obviously a little bit different, but the concept as we enter the move as a beginner is the same. As someone who's more advanced, you do it slightly different, but that's what we're gonna do first. So when we enter from, you don't do the power move entrance, by the way, in this one, unless you mastered fully how to get in the perfect position from it and still keep the balance. So what we're going to do is left, right. I'm right-handed, by the way. So left, hand to the side, grab your wrist. So then we're going to start spinning. And you see it happens automatically. That's a really good way to start from combos. So before we use a band or anything to spin, you want to spin on your bare hand. As you can see, I quite suck at this, but in combos I'm actually quite good at 2000. Now you spin on this spot just like the 90. Some people spin on this spot. If that works for you, it's fine. And there are people that can just leave their whole hand on the floor and spin. That's even better. Then you grab your wrist. So some people grab their hand, but what will happen is you push your fingers on the floor and it allows you to spin less unless you wear a full glove. So if you have only something on that on that spin spot, and you push your fingers on the floor, obviously your spin will stop. So you sort of need to learn to grab your wrist and push that part on the floor as you spin. But if you have a full glove, you can actually stabilize more. And the people that do over, the world record holder does 50 rounds or more, right? Crazy. Little kid from Russia, B-boy Malish, check it out. It's insane how he does this, right? But, you know, he wears something on his hand, obviously, to do that. I think he still leaves his finger out though, so it's pretty impressive still. But if you do something fully on your hand, you're way more stable. You can actually just practice that position like this. I did the tutorial on 2000 freeze. Just hold this, right? If you can hold this forever and you can enter like that, you can actually spin a long time. So just like the head spin, head balance is a little bit the same. So let me explain how we do the first round. Exactly like that 90, but with a slight difference, of course. Of course, you cannot step all the way around, but as you enter it, well, looking forward is way more stable, but it's also way more scary. So just look at the floor as a beginner, right? Enter it, push, push, and that's it. Or in that you don't do anything and you try to spin all the way around. If that doesn't happen, try to grab the floor, turn your wrist in. This will allow you to always sort of spin around, right? So when I demonstrate right here, entering, grabbing the floor, turning my wrist in. This allows you to spin sort of one round with quite ease, right? So you got the one round down, great. Let's move on to more rounds than that. So You need to practice the balance point, which is just that freeze I just showed you, but obviously with the hand on the wrist and not with the hand on top of the fingers, because you want to first do it without the glove. Combos, guys, if you want to, let's say you're very good at flare, you're doing flare, and now you want a 2000 from your flare. I don't have my glove on, so I can't do it. No, of course not. You want to be able to do 1 or 2 rounds without the glove, and I suggest you practice this first. It's also way more stable that way. Then you can move on to covering your whole hand or whatever. Of course, this makes spinning more easier, but it's also really unstable for beginners, and you might fall. So, you got the 1 round done. We want to do more, of course. Tight. So I have a lot of times, in combos, I'm quite better at 2000, but a lot of times I just spin. And then all of a sudden, in the middle, I stop. So you do 1 or 2 rounds and just stop there. This is because you're not tight. You need to learn to tense everything as you do a 2000 or a 90. Because if you don't do that, you might still be in balance but stop. It happens to a lot of people simply because you're not tight, guys. Also, of course, maybe the friction, but mostly if you're like a pencil, like that, you will always be tight and will spin always pretty good. If you're like me, like I don't practice this move at all unless in combos, so for me it's sort of like weak when I do this, and sometimes a body part like the leg or the hip or whatever moves. This could cause you to spin. So you need to learn how to be tight, and then if you want to spin more and more, I was just thinking a little bit of the head spin position as you do it. What does that mean? Well, I'm no star at this obviously, but once you enter, try not to enter from here, right? You try to enter completely up. You place your hands under your head like this, almost like you're going to do the head spin, but you're going to place your hand and place the other hand on top. Now you're aligned, and you look forward as you do this. When I do it, I actually like to close my eyes. So it's weird, but then I just do that. I don't care. I'm not scared to fall. It's just easier that way, right? Finally, there is also a different kind of 2000, which I always thought was very, very awesome, and we all seen it. It's that drill 2000, right? Where you all of a sudden drill very, very fast. My friend did this in a battle, like we were a crew, but he did it, and everybody in the whole crowd went, "Oh my fucking god, he did 10 rounds of 90, oh my shit." Everybody was celebrating and everything, even the opponents were celebrating. It was crazy. But then we looked on the camera and it was only 3.5 rounds. Still impressive, but see, that's because he drills so fast, and it's a very awesome effect. We all seen that done. How does that work? Well, I got a tip from that same guy actually. He said when you enter it, enter relaxed. So try to relax your body a little bit. Then when you place that 2000, tense everything as much as you can, and of course close the legs. You can drill out, but closing the legs is the key. Right? So that's also very awesome 2000. I'm not a star at this at all. So, just quickly as a final thought, like I just gonna show you some 2000 of mine. I know a guy from Holland who is originally from Turkey, but doesn't matter. This guy has some of the best 2000s ever. And what he told me was, dude, you got the 2000, but you need to practice it for 3 months. And do nothing but 2000, and you will get a killer one. And this guy is really, really good. I'm gonna search if I can find him on YouTube, but he gave me this tip, and he has some of the best 2000s out there, right? So I know there are people like the world record holder does 50 rounds, but this guy is so fast in his spin, it's crazy. I love that, right? But just about the world record holder, and well, you can do all this study yourself, of course, but I still want to say it. When you see guys do 20 plus rounds, they all do the same thing, this, right? But it's always looked to me very, very unsteady. And when we look at the world record holder, B-Boy Malish, but also those other guys who train with him actually, they all have very good stable 2000s. They more do it like a head spin. What does that mean? They enter completely wide, then they close in like a tuck head spin basically, and drill it out after that. This feels, to me at least, I cannot do it obviously, looks way more steady, guys. Not the move, I'm not a star at it. In combos I'm a little bit better than, from standing simply because I don't practice, but practice this all the time together with 90. Practice both, it only better for you guys. See you next time.